But I want to show you something that you maybe have noticed, or maybe you did notice when we read Enoch's account in Genesis. Did anyone catch his son's name? Methuselah. I don't know if that name sounds familiar to you or not. Methuselah was his son's name, and that's a good Bible name. I don't know why people don't name their kids Methuselah these days. You know, we got a lot of Davids and Michaels, and even Noah's making a comeback, but you don't meet Methuselahs. Maybe it's because you can't shorten it. You know, you can't call your kid Meth. But Methuselah is a name with meaning. It's a name with very poignant meaning. It's a name that means this: when he is dead, then shall it be sent. What? When he is dead, when this boy of mine is dead, then shall it be sent. I want you to let this sink in for a second. Enoch, as a prophecy from God, or more likely as a prayer to God, in the midst of a terribly evil world, facing a very serious judgment, as a prayer, he names his son. When he's dead, then shall it be sent. And if you really measure those words, this is an act of love for his son. It's Enoch symbolically asking God, Lord, would you hold off the judgment during the life of my son? Who is the longest living person in the Bible? It's Methuselah. And what's interesting about that is he lived 969 years. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the longest living person in the Bible had a dad who asked God to extend a tremendous amount of grace and hold off the judgment during his lifetime. And what's more, there are scholars like Warren Wiersbe who's done some math and added up some of the time span that we're talking about here. And you're taking, this time from Adam and you're rolling forward, you're adding up all these years that are being mentioned back there in Genesis chapter 4 and chapter 5. And guess what they figured out? Wiersbe has figured out that Methuselah, after his 969 years, he died the very same year that the flood was sent. Now, they're not suggesting he died in the flood. In fact, to the contrary, God indeed honored Enoch's prayer to hold off that judgment until Methuselah could live his life. God kept his promise to Enoch. Why? Because Enoch walked faithfully with God.